Pracharak, and when he was very active BJP Karyakarta and also the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he has been celebrating Pongal with each and every Tamilians. That is what Mr. Prime Minister, and he has not forgotten even a year. And he has been celebrating this festival along with all Tamil people globally also. And he has clearly mentioning the pride of the Tamil language, mentioning the importance of Tamil language, its heritage. So, Prime Minister, as rightly he said, unity and diversity, that is India, and Tamil culture. Always he has been quoting Thiruvalluvar, Owvaiyar, Mahakavi, Bharatiyar, so many people, what all they have done for the country, for the literature, for the religion, and for the entire universe. So, Prime Minister is fully understandable. He fully understands what Tamil literature stands for. So, we are happy that he has brought in so many facts and important things. What
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Mr. Tirupati, we were expecting that his messaging is going to be having a political undertone, considering we're also looking at elections in Tamil Nadu. So from the national capital, there will be an outreach to the Tamil faction of the country on Pongal. But that was rather understated today.
No, see, he never mixed politics and religion, politics and caste, politics and culture, politics and tradition. We need to understand this. He is a man of that kind of stature, and he never, mixes politics with these things.
Right, Mr. Tirupati, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, and very, very happy Pongal to you as well. Arinder continues to be with us. Arinder, I would want to understand from you, in the wake of so much that's happening in the state of Tamil Nadu ahead of elections, that political messaging that was expected out of the Prime Minister as well as he addressed the Tamil community on Pongal from the national capital, that was rather understated. I asked that question to Mr. Narayan Tirupati of the Bharatiya Janata Party, but this is what the BJP is also maintaining, that he is keeping the festival fervour aside and politics aside.
Absolutely, and probably that's where Narendra Modi is keeping his, stating that what statesmen should look like. I mean, his politician sattva is a different side, which will take on, which will bring on a different time. That has a different time and space. But today is a different time and space, where he is a prime minister, and this is a time when he talk about unity, which is a time when talk about bringing the nation together. This is a time when talk about different cultures together. Today, he sent messages in different languages. Not only today's Bihu, today's Pongal, today is also about Bihu, today is also about Makar Sankranti. He sent out messages to each states in their respective languages, in Ahomiya, in Bengali, in their other respective state languages. And that's what prime ministers do, and that's what he did, and that's why there has not been any divisive messages, and that's what probably sets this prime minister apart from others. He's not a politician prime minister here, he's a prime minister, and that's what probably he is, a statesman prime minister. And this is not extreme praise. This is what these are facts that as I see, I'm just stating. And what he said is, I'm just clearly stating what I read from the short speech he gave. He's talked about Tamil Sangamam in Varanasi. Tamil Sangamam is something that bridges south and north. He talked about his visits to various south temples. He talked about Pammam Bridge. That's an investment in south infrastructure. He talks about the celebration of this Pongal celebration in Delhi. These are things that bridges north and south. At a time when politics, rather divisive politics, has brought a narrative, a manufactured narrative in south about north-south divide. These are messages that was needed from the very top, that no, that is not true. India is one, and probably nobody better than the Prime Minister that could have delivered that message. And that message has come from the Prime Minister himself. And that's the beauty today, probably, from this event. Staying away from politics, giving the message of unity in diversity.
Ananda, thank you so much for joining us and giving us that important perspective. Remember, important day today as festivities have begun across the country. We are now cutting across to this piece of breaking news where we are learning that at least 12 people have been killed after a construction crane fell into a moving train in northeastern Thailand. This is an unfortunate update that we are having to bring for our viewers because of the number of casualties that this accident has reported. At least 12 people who are believed to have been killed, and this after a crane has fallen onto a moving train. All of this has happened in northeastern Thailand. We are now looking at more updates. We are also in fact given to understand that the number can go up to even 22, and many others who have been injured. This is what we are picking up, and these are the visuals that we managed to in fact source for our viewers as a construction crane collapses onto a moving train, and that has ended up killing many people. At least 12, the number could go up to more than 20 is what we are picking up, and these are very, very distressing visuals that we have for our viewers on the screens. My colleague Akanksha Swaroop with all of those details. Akanksha, anything else that you're picking up? Very, very distressing piece of information that we are having to put out for our viewers.
Right, Griha, in fact, the death toll is rising. Earlier it was being reported that 12 people have been killed, but in the latest information that we have received, 22 people are reportedly dead, 30 injured, and perhaps the death toll could in fact go up further. And if you actually go by the visuals that are coming in, you can see how the crane actually collapsed on that moving train, which led to this tragedy. Could it have been averted? Only an investigation will be able to indicate. But why was the train passing through this semi-constructed area? It was a construction crane that fell onto this moving train in northeastern Thailand. We await more details to emerge in terms of what really led to that collapse of that crane onto the train. But in fact, if you were to go by the visuals that we have received so far, you can see that the train has been left into ramshackles, and actually it's completely collapsed. So what's right now of prime concern is that will the death toll remain at 22, or is it going to further go up? There's, of course, rescue operations that are currently on, because remember, 30 people are already injured. They're being rushed to the nearby hospitals is what we are being told. And perhaps in some time from now, we'll be able to ascertain better the exact number of people who have died, but it's extremely deeply tragic and disturbing. 22 people already dead, and you can see the way the train has completely left in it's been left in a charred condition. It's completely collapsed. It's in fact, as you can see, the visuals that are coming in, the smoke billowing out of a collapsed train, and this crane that actually collapsed on top of it. But what's extremely shocking is how was the train allowed to pass through a semi-constructed site, and what exactly led to the collapse of that crane. We await more details to emerge, but these are breaking inputs that we are receiving in this horrific train tragedy that has taken place in northeastern Thailand, Griha.
Well, Akanksha, I was also reading through a couple of reports that are emerging, and this is as per the local police. They were saying that the crane was moving on a high-speed rail project when this collapse and crash onto that passing train really happened. Any details that could be picked up from the local authorities there in Thailand, or is it too early to assess the situation at the moment?
So what you're saying is actually right, and yes, this is what the reports are indicating, that this crane was actually moving at a very high speed. And what we can tell our viewers right now is that this accident has taken place in the wee hours of Wednesday morning in the Sikioi district of Nakhon Ratchasima province, and The train was bound for Thailand's Ubon Ratchathani province, and local media reports are indicating that this train was actually on a high-speed rail project when it collapsed, and that's when it hit the passing train. Why was the train taking a route through a semi-construction site? All of that detail is currently awaited. But what we are also learning from the reports that are emerging so far is that it was the high speed of the train that caused the train to derail and even catch fire. So also videos that are emerging currently on social media are also indicating how the rescue work is also underway. The first responders are actually over there. But remember, like most train tragedy, what actually makes it most challenging for the first responders is how they have to cut through the train and the metal to actually rescue those who are trapped inside the wreckage of that destroyed train. So, and that's exactly what first responders are currently doing at this site as well, where they have to cut through the train wreckage to rescue those injured people. Close to 33 or 30, in fact, injured have been rescued so far. The fire has been extinguished and the rescue work is still underway, is what we're being told we have.
Right, Akanksha, do stay on with us. Very, very distressing piece of information that we are having to put out for our viewers. We are just putting out those visuals as well on the big screen on the wall here. And there you can see the under construction bridge. This is where the construction was taking place. This seems to be of a high-speed rail project in Thailand. When the train, in fact, the crane that was part of the construction site ended up falling on a passing train, a passenger train. And this is where the train also caught fire, and that's why you could see the smoke bellowing. The fire has been doused. Akanksha was just mentioning about that latest status report. But there you see the train completely collapsed and toppled from the tracks because of the impact of this collision and the crane falling onto the train, because of which at least 22 people have been killed. And that is the unfortunate part. The number could be higher, it could go up. There are many people, possibly 70, who are injured is what we are learning. And this is what the wreckage really is. There's a rescue efforts that are currently on. We're also, in fact, learning that the Thai authorities have been summoned so that they can, in fact, go ahead and maintain a very, very comprehensive report of this accident that has emerged. And of course, the big question remains as to why was, in fact, a train passing from an area which was under construction, and how did this entire collapse really happen? We'll keep an eye on this story, but right now we're shifting our focus. We are getting some breaking news on the broadcast. This is a new report by the Human Rights Congress for Bangladesh Minorities. It shows a disturbing picture of what minority communities are really facing today in Bangladesh. And according to the HRCBM report, there has been a sharp and relentless rise in deadly attacks against minorities in Bangladesh since the interim government led by Mohammad Yunus has come into power. Between June 6, 2025 and January 5, 2026, the human rights group has confirmed 116 killings that has spread across all 8 divisions and at least 45 districts. This shows that this is not a local problem but a nationwide crisis, and the world is watching. And this is what we are, in fact, learning of. This is a crisis, to say the least. 116 people in just a span of a year who have been killed, all from the members of the minority community. Pallavi, with that information, she's joining us on the broadcast. Pallavi, this is another distressing piece of information that we are gathering from Bangladesh.
And those who are there in Bangladesh, especially those who belong to the minority community there, I would not be surprised at the contents of this report. In the last 2 weeks alone, there have been at least 11 Hindus who have been killed and who have been targeted. So the figure of 117 in the last couple of months is alarming, certainly, but it is also a time perhaps for the Yunus administration to stand up and reflect. Every time we ask for a response, either coming in from the BNP, whether we ask the Jamaat or even the Yunus administration, all of them dismiss it off as an alarmist tendency on the part of India to push forward a narrative that Hindus are being targeted in Bangladesh. All of them say this is not really the case. It's either been professional rivalry, it's a small incidents or social unrest. But even when I was there, many people said the pattern in which the Hindus were being targeted and killed is unprecedented. Many from the Hindu community also told me that this has never happened before, where you actually kill someone and also burn them, like it happened in the case of Deepu Chandra Das, it happened in the case of Sanjay Chakravarti, and so on and so forth. But what is perhaps even most unfortunate is that even the police doesn't want to register a case. But then how do you blame them when the UD's administration themselves don't take cognizance of it? They dismiss these killings off as being alarmist. So the police also provides no help or protection as far as the Hindus are concerned.
Right, Pallavi, and also the fact that the HRCBM is highlighting that this has been a constant crisis in Bangladesh, and it dates back to, many years back, ever since that entire country came into existence. And, we were earlier taking up this entire story of Angel Chakma. In fact, the Chakma tribe had to leave Bangladesh. So that persecution of minorities has been going on in Bangladesh, and that's something also that is part of this report.
Not just Hindus, it's also the Christians, but also the Buddhists who are all being targeted over there, whether they are students, people in the professional space. In 1971, when the War of Liberation took place, the population, according to the Bangladesh census, estimates of the Hindus alone was around 36%. Today, it stands at 9.6%. It just goes on to show that how the population is diminishing. And the reason also behind this is that many of them don't even want to take part in the census process. They say that the moment we are a part of the census process, we will be marked, we will be noticed. So we prefer to go underground. We prefer not to reap any benefits of the government when it talks about minority welfare, because sooner or later, people will find us out, they are going to target us. Many of them are now refusing to speak, especially with elections round the corner. Many of them are scared that there is going to be more violence, and in this violence, it is these minorities who are going to be targeted, and all of them get shelter from the political parties of Bangladesh.
Right, Pallavi, thank you so much for that information. And on that note, we go into a very short break. News and updates continue on the broadcast.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Has now lasted for 130 hours. Elon Musk's SpaceX is now providing free internet access via its Starlink satellite service to users in Iran. A big, huge development there in light of the complete blackout that we are seeing in Iran right now, which has lasted for 130 hours and counting. Elon Musk's SpaceX is now providing free internet access via its satellite Starlink service to users in Iran. Let me come back to you on that, Siddhant. How do you assess the significance of this development at this point?
Well, that's right. In fact, mostly these American applications don't work in Iran. Even if you want to use those American applications on a normal day, then you need to use it through VPN. Point number one. Point number two, since the start of these protests, the internet blackout was put in place by the regime because regime did not want the videos of the protest against the regime and also the force being used on the protesters, those videos to go out of country, get viral, etc., etc. And now we're getting to know that there has been 130 hours of internet blackout in Iran. But there were some Starlink devices which were smuggled into Iran. This is what the reports are telling us. And perhaps these protesters are using those devices to upload videos and inform the Iranian diaspora particularly.
Welcome back. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Griha Atul. Now, close on the heels of the sensational gold theft case at Sabarimala temple, another major financial irregularity has now been unearthed. This time in the sale of Adya Shishtam ghee. a sacred offering to devotees at the Sabarimala shrine. Within a short span of less than 2 months, remember, an amount of approximately 35 lakh rupees was siphoned off exclusively from the sale of Adya Shishtam ghee. The proceeds from this offering form a crucial part of the Travancore Devaswam Board's revenue. Considering the report of the Sabarimala Special Commissioner, Kerala High Court has now pulled up Sabarimala Temple Board for pilferage of money from ghee sales. Vigilance report claims that the sale of 16,628 packets of ghee sold from the counter were not remitted to the Devaswam account. BJP is now taken on the LDF government over this matter.
After Sabarimala gold loot, now it is Sabarimala ghee loot. The embezzlement that has been done in just a short period of time, less than 2 months, in the sale of ghee has been called out by the Kerala High Court. And the Kerala High Court has called it a systematic and deep-rooted failure and has come down heavily at the TDB. This is not just case of loot, it is systematic corruption and desecration, and both the UDF and the LDF are at the heart of this. Even in this case, all these people who are willy-nilly involved in it, they are all patronized by the UDF and LDF.
Let me take this across to my colleague Neetu Kumar, who is now with us on the broadcast. Neetu, good morning. From gold to ghee, this rot seems to be running very deep when it is about the Sabarimala board. What really is going on there? Neetu, if you can hear me? We seem to have no link through with Neetu. We'll try and re-establish that connection, but this is what is happening. Remember, Kerala High Court has ordered probe, and after the gold theft, there is a misappropriation of funds when it is about the sale of ghee. Ghee that is part of a very, very revered sacred offering that's been given to devotees. It's called Adya Shishtam ghee. And now within a span of less than 2 months, an approximate amount of 35 lakh rupees was siphoned off exclusively from the sale of this ghee. The proceeds from the offering were not transferred to the Travancore Devaswam Board's revenue. They were not part of the revenue. They were siphoned off. Considering the report of this Special Commissioner of Sabarimala, now the Kerala High Court has pulled up the temple board for pilferage of money. Neetu is now back with us on the broadcast. Neetu, if you can hear me now, I wanted to understand, Sabarimala was already dealing with this entire gold theft row. Now it's ghee. The rot seems to be running really deep.
Yes, after the gold theft case, now it's related to the sale of ghee at the Sabarimala temple. Now the Kerala High Court's Devasam bench, there is a special bench in the Kerala High Court, a division bench which deals with the issues related to the Devasam boards in the state. So this Devasam bench has now taken suo motu case after the Special Commissioner has submitted this report, and this is a report of the Travancore Devasam Board's vigilance. The Devasam Board also has a vigilance department, and the vigilance inquiry has found these discrepancies. That is, from November to December 26, in that short period, about 16,000 packets in selling of ghee. That money was not sent to the Devasam Board. So that is to the tune of about 13 lakhs. And from December to January, when they took stock, they could found that about 22,000 packets were missing. And if that money, if that has been sold and that money given, it's to the tune of about 22 lakhs. So altogether, the High Court has said that in this short period, this around 35 lakhs, you cannot see this as a mere negligence. This is corruption. This is basically a systematic way in which the things are not done, and that is why this is happening. So this cannot be seen as a mere negligence. This warrants sections under the BNS and also the Prevention to Corruption Act. So this is what the High Court has clearly stated. The High Court has even raised out whether the higher-ups are also in the know-how of this, and is this why this is continuously happening. The court clearly stated that records are not maintained properly. So these are issues which the court has said. Now the court has asked the State Vigilance and Anti-Corruption Bureau to form a special team to look into this, and within 1 month, similar to that of the gold case, the Vigilance and Anti-Corruption Bureau will have to submit a report before the Kerala High Court, and they will be reporting directly to the Kerala High Court. So that is what the court has said. Very serious observations coming in from the order by the division bench, by the Devasam bench of the Kerala High Court.
Right, absolutely. So thank you so much for that comprehensive analysis. We go into a very short break with that.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Has now lasted for 130 hours. Elon Musk SpaceX is now providing free internet access via its Starlink satellite service to users in Iran. A big, huge development there in light of the complete blackout that we are seeing in Iran right now, which has lasted for 130 hours and counting. Elon Musk SpaceX is now providing free internet access via its satellite Starlink service to users in Iran. Let me come back to you on that, Siddhant. How do you assess the significance of this development at this point?
Well, that's right. In fact, mostly these American applications don't work in Iran. Even if you want to use those American applications on a normal day, then you need to use it through VPN. Point number one. Point number two, since the start of these protests, the internet blackout was put in place by the regime because regime did not want the videos of the protest against the regime and also the force being used on the protesters, those videos to go out of country, get viral, etc., etc. And now we're getting to know that there has been 130 hours of internet blackout in Iran. But there were some Starlink devices which were smuggled into Iran. This is what the reports are telling us. And perhaps these protesters are using those devices to upload videos and inform the Iranian diaspora, particularly, which is staying outside Iran. They are keeping a close eyes on the developments taking place in Iran, and they are offering all kinds of support in building narrative against the regime, carrying out protests outside Iranian missions across the world. So these videos are being uploaded through the Starlink devices. Few of the Starlink devices were smuggled into Iran. And perhaps the Khamenei government also accuses conspiracy behind the smuggling of Starlink devices, because they say that they were preparing for the protest, and perhaps for the same purpose. They knew that there's going to be the internet blackout, so the devices were smuggled just to build a narrative against the Khamenei regime. So that is how the protesters have been working from last 12-13 days.
All right, Siddhant. Now, let's just also take you through the various options that the United States appears to be mulling. US President Donald Trump is exploring options for diplomacy with Iran, even as he weighs whether to attack Tehran or not. The Pentagon is presenting a wider range of strike options to Trump than previously reported. Possible targets include Iran's nuclear program, going beyond the American airstrikes that battered it in June. What a cyber attack or a strike against Iran's domestic security apparatus means, Zaka Jacob decodes.
US President Donald Trump is exploring options for diplomacy with Iran, even as he weighs whether or not to attack Tehran. The Pentagon is presenting him with a wider range of strike options than was previously reported. Possible targets include Iran's nuclear program, going far beyond the American airstrikes that battered it back in June. A cyber attack or even a strike against Iran's domestic security apparatus, which is using lethal force against the protesters, are more likely options. Any attack is still at least several days away and could prompt a vigorous retaliation from Iran.
I think one thing President Trump is very good at is always keeping all of his options on the table. And
Welcome back. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Griha Atul. We are now getting some more breaking news on the broadcast, and this is the shocking case of road rage that has now surfaced from Sirsa. So this is what we are looking at. Two cars who are involved in a proper brawl that had taken place in broad daylight. And what was the reason for this brawl? This was a minor dispute over giving way. Aap rasta dijiye. Because of that, this kind of a violent escalation has taken place. We are talking about this incident that took place at the Jagdev Singh Chowk, I beg your pardon, in Sirsa. And this is where this incident has taken place, where two car drivers got into this heated argument. The situation worsened when one of the youths took out a sword. There you can see in those visuals the three people who are embroiled in this violent scuffle. One person also out with a sword. He ends up smashing the windows of this other car, and then the other person's vehicle is also vandalized. So this has happened in broad daylight. All of this has been, of course, captured on CCTV. And there you can see this person with that sword vandalizing not just the windscreen but the entire mirrors of the car, the white vehicle there at the back. All of this because he seems to be honking. He wanted some way to move forward, and this person was rather upset. He took out an entire sword. Imagine, that is the kind of situation that has emerged in broad daylight in Sirsa. My colleague Anshul with all of those details. Anshul, what is happening? Why have people become so angry? A sword? All of this just because somebody asked for some way so that he can move forward?
Of late, this has become a very common phenomenon, especially over here in North India, where incidents of road rages are continuously increasing over here. In fact, this case that has come to the fore is actually a very, very serious case, where after just this minor dispute over giving some way, this entire issue escalated, and this eventually turned into a fight for ego between the two people, and then both the groups actually went ahead and vandalized vehicles of each other. They had a verbal and physical brawl in broad daylight as well, and this entire chaos almost went on for more than 20 minutes on the streets of Sirsa, which is yet again a very, very concerning sign, because for more than 20 minutes neither the people tried to intervene or neither the police was able to reach over there. Once the police reached over there, finally they went ahead and took action and have arrested all the accused, and in fact have registered an FIR into this entire matter. But cases of road rage actually does not warrant any serious section that could impound these people, or the vehicles could be impounded, and hence bail could easily be taken from the police station itself. And now this footage that has come to the fore yet again raises questions on the need of putting out some stringent laws that could actually instill some fear amongst the people, that if at all they go ahead and indulge in such violent incidents on the streets of the country, then definitely some serious action could be taken against them. But at this point in time, there are no laws that could actually implement such serious actions, and that is the reason why we are seeing over the past few years itself, there has been a spike in cases of road rages in which minor arguments actually lead to major incidents.
Right, absolutely. In fact, Anshul, I would like to, take our viewers through these visuals once again. Very, very intense visuals that have been captured on CCTV. And if we replay it, and this is what has happened. This car has overtaken the white car from the left, and he tries to squeeze his way past this little alley that he finds. This person who is not on the driver's seat rushes to the other car, and then that one in that beige sedan takes out a sword, and the scuffle really gets worse. These two cars here, there you can see the white car behind me here, and this car is where the scuffle has taken place. Look at it. It gets so bad that the people who are inside the vehicle now, the two people in the white car, the person with the sword goes ahead, smashes the window panes, the windscreen, everything in this car while the two people are inside. There's one brave gentleman there in the pug who's trying to stop this very, very enraged gentleman with the sword. But all of this has been captured in broad daylight, and you can see the kind of people, the number of people who have stopped there to watch this very, very violent spectacle. Only one person has decided to at least attempt at stopping what they see happening on the streets. Anshul, we are learning that all of the three people have been now arrested by the police?
Well, yes, all these three people have been taken into custody by the police, but as I mentioned, these sections that have been imposed against them are not that serious in nature, and that does not even warrant an immediate arrest. But however, the manner in which this incident had broken out and these people were in no mood to back down, finally the police has gone ahead and taken control of them, and all of them have been taken into custody at this point in time. Now, their bail applications will be moved within the next few hours itself, but yes, the manner in which this incident has happened yet again shows that how angrily people are actually moving, and how easy it is for a small incident to turn into a larger incident. Thankfully, no arms or weapons that were used in this entire incident. But yes, we have seen in other cases as well that small arguments actually lead to massive crimes. But this time around, at least these people did not have any weapons per se, and that is the reason why no big incident has happened. But yes, the vehicles of both these people have been vandalized, and that vehicles have also been taken into custody by the Sirsa police.
Right, absolutely, Anshul. Thank you so much for all of those details. They are very distressing images that have emerged from this Jagdev Chowk in Sirsa in Haryana. Road rage to another level. We're now shifting our focus. We are going back to the Pongal celebrations, which has the Prime Minister as part of it. Right here in the national capital, his outreach to the Tamil community in the country continues as he is part of the Pongal festivities. And these are the live visuals of the cultural celebrations where you see the Prime Minister very much in attendance as he is attending the Pongal festivities in the national capital.
Tiruvalluvar was a great poet whose 1330 Tirukural couplets offer timeless wisdom for righteous living. Though widely known, Tirukural has rarely been highlighted in public forums. Our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has revived its global prominence by embracing its values in all his speeches across India and the world. Today's dance is a humble tribute to our Prime Minister's deep respect for Tirukural.
அறிவிலே அறத்தையூற்றி அறிஞனை கவிதையாற்ற வள்ளுவர் போற்றி அருளிலே அமிர்தமூற்றி தமிழினில் உயரம் வாய்த்த திருக்குறள் போற்றி போற்றி போற்றி. திக்கெட்டும் குரலெட்டும் படியெங்கும் தமிழ் சொட்டும் விசை கட்டி கொண்டோமே கொண்டோமே நடமெட்டும் அடவெட்டும் புகழ் முட்டும் குரல் சொல்லும் சதி தட்டி கொண்டோமே கொண்டோமே. கசடர கற்பவை கற்ற பின் நிற்க அதற்கு தக கற்க கசடர கற்பவை கற்ற பின் நிற்க அதற்கு தக திருக்குறள் படித்தால் உயிர் செடி துளிர்க்கும். திருக்குறள் குடித்தால் உயிரணு சிலிர்க்கும். ஒவ்வொரு குறளும் உயரிய மருந்து. நித்தமும் விரும்பி நீ அதை அருந்து. அதன் வழி வாழ்வில் அழகாய் பொருந்து. அதன் வழி வாழ்வில் அழகாய் பொருந்து. அடடா உயர்வாய் அனைத்திலும் சிறந்து. அடடா உயர்வாய் அனைத்திலும் சிறந்து. மாந்தரின் உலகம் மற்றவர் சொல்வது. உயிர்களின் உலகம் வள்ளுவர் சொல்வது. பகுத்துண்டு பல்லுயிர் ஓம்புதலாம். நூலோர் தொகுத்தவற்றுள் எல்லாம் தலை. இலக்கே முக்கியம் மற்றவர் சொல்வது. வழியும் முக்கியம் வள்ளுவர் சொல்வது. ஈன்றால் பசி காண்பான் ஆயினும் செய்யற்க. சான்றோர் பழிக்கும் வினை.
Narendra Modi ji, distinguished guests, and dear audience, on this joyous festival of Pongal, we extend our warmest greetings, wishing abundance, prosperity, and happiness to one and all. We are honored to celebrate 150 years of Vande Mataram, a timeless salute to our motherland. Through dance, we offer our gratitude, pride, and devotion. Vande Mataram.
Sasya Shama Mumbai local is synonymous with the maximum city. It is its very lifeline.
After 8 long years, the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation elections are finally set to take place.
One alliance versus fractured opposition. Who will Mumbai choose? Ballot Maximum City. Complete coverage on CNN News 18. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Has now lasted for 130 hours. Elon Musk SpaceX is now providing free internet access via its Starlink satellite service to users in Iran. A big, huge development there in light of the complete blackout that we are seeing in Iran right now, which has lasted for 130 hours and counting. Elon Musk SpaceX is now providing free internet access via its satellite Starlink service to users in Iran. Let me come back to you on that, Siddhant. How do you assess the significance of this development at this point?
Well, that's right. In fact, mostly these American applications don't work in Iran. Even if you want to use those American applications on a normal day, then you need to use it through VPN. Point number one. Point number two, since the start of these protests, the internet blackout was put in place by the regime because regime did not want the videos of the protest against the regime and also the force being used on the protesters, those videos to go out of country, get viral, etc., etc. And now we're getting to know that there has been 130 hours of internet blackout in Iran. But there were some Starlink devices which were smuggled into Iran. This is what the reports are telling us. And perhaps these protesters are using those devices to upload videos and inform the Iranian diaspora, particularly, which is staying outside Iran. They are keeping a close eyes on the developments taking place in Iran, and they are offering all kinds of support in building narrative against the regime, carrying out protests outside Iranian missions across the world. So these videos are being uploaded through the Starlink devices. Few of the Starlink devices were smuggled into Iran. And perhaps the Khamenei government also accuses conspiracy behind the smuggling of Starlink devices, because they say that they were preparing for the protest, and perhaps for the same purpose. They knew that there's going to be the internet blackout, so the devices were smuggled just to build a narrative against the Khamenei regime. So that is how the protesters have been working from last 12-13 days.
All right, Siddhant. Now, let's just also take you through the various options that the United States appears to be mulling. US President Donald Trump is exploring options for diplomacy with Iran, even as he weighs whether to attack Tehran or not. The Pentagon is presenting a wider range of strike options to Trump than previously reported. Possible targets include Iran's nuclear program, going beyond the American airstrikes that battered it in June. What a cyber attack or a strike against Iran's domestic security apparatus means, Zaka Jacob decodes.
US President Donald Trump is exploring options for diplomacy with Iran, even as he weighs whether or not to attack Tehran. The Pentagon is presenting him with a wider range of strike options than was previously reported. Possible targets include Iran's nuclear program, going far beyond the American airstrikes that battered it back in June. A cyber attack or even a strike against Iran's domestic security apparatus, which is using lethal force against the protesters, are more likely options. Any attack is still at least several days away and could prompt a vigorous retaliation from Iran.
I think one thing President Trump is very good at is always keeping all of his options on the table. And
Welcome back to CNN News 18. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Heem Kaursar, and here's a quick look at what we're tracking for you at this hour. Let's get started. Prime Minister Modi celebrates Pongal at Union Minister L. Murugan's residence, signals BJP's cultural outreach. ahead of Tamil Nadu polls. Rahul Gandhi backs Vijay, urges Congress cadre to stand by the actor and explore alliance options. This is the actor faces fresh CBI summons in the Karur case. BJP slams Congress for snubbing German Chancellor, claims Chief Minister and his deputy skipped official duties to greet Rahul Gandhi instead. Kerala High Court flags Sabarimala ghee embezzlement, cites systemic failures, notes 34 lakh misappropriation in a short span. Dr. S. Shankar and Marco Rubio hold talks on trade, on defense and security as India and the US push to ease strains and advance trade deal. Amid India's 2036 Olympics ambition, Denmark badminton player calls out subpar conditions during India Open, asks the world body to cancel World Championship in India. Day after dismissing concerns raised by BCB over travelling to India, ICC once again asks Bangladesh Cricket Board to reconsider its stance. Rising death toll fuels tensions as Tehran braces for US action. Trump tells Iranians to keep protesting, says help is coming. All right, here's the latest that we're getting for you. News from Kerala, where a row has erupted over stop memo on temporary bridge for the Mahamaga festival. Revenue officials issued a stop memo to the construction of a bridge. They've cited environmental hazards for the festival. In Malappuram, the festival is described by the organizers as the Kumbh Mela of Kerala. BJP has raised an objection to the stop memo as well, and this is the latest that we're getting for you right now. This order which was issued by the organizing committee there. For more on this, we have Neetu live with us. Neetu, what can you tell us? What happened here?
Now, the revenue officials have sent out this stop memo to the organizers of this program. The organizers have claimed that this is basically a Kumbh Mela of Kerala, where a large number of people, devotees, would be coming to the Bardapura riverbed. Now, what the district authorities are telling us is that they are concerned about the safety of the people who are coming, because there are the organizers are saying there would be about 20,000 to 50,000 people who would be coming per day to this place. So the district authorities say that the organizers don't have any disaster management practices in place. What if something happens, or what should be done in the event of a stampede-like situation? And they're also stating that on this riverbed, there are several drinking water schemes which provide water to the nearby areas. So the organizers have don't have any plan related to the toilets, and if the riverbed is polluted, it will affect the drinking water facilities. And not just this, what they are saying, why the stop memo was issued, because it is against the rules existing in the state to have construction over this riverbed, ahead of the riverbed, using big equipments like the JCB. So that is something which they have issued a stop memo to.
All right, of course. Now, there has been some uproar over this as well, which we've been tracking. Now, some of the ones who are initiating, who are spearheading this initiative, they've said they're not going to be stepping back, even despite the order halting the construction activities at the site. When it comes to halting the activities, of course, there's no clear timeline that has been issued for this as well. However, it's that Kumbh style Mela that has been cited as the reason here. So what can you tell us about that?
Now, see, the organizers have maintained that they will be going ahead with this, but without the permission, with this stop memo issued, we have to see how this is. Now, the BJP has come out in support of this, stating that this is the government's way of stopping something which is related to the culture, and they're not allowing something like this happening. So that is what the BJP has been saying. But the district authorities are clearly stating that they are concerned about the safety aspects, the safety measures of those people coming for this program, and also the existing rules doesn't allow them to construct a bridge over this riverbed.
Absolutely, Neetu. I mean, if we were just for the benefit of our viewers, once again break this down, the district authorities have stated that their biggest concern, as you mentioned also, is that they do not have definite disaster management plan, and what happens in case of a stampede as the reason, as you cited as well, because they are concerned that they are expecting up to 20 to 50,000 people a day here. So there are some serious security challenges when it comes to this also.
That's correct, and we have seen in the recent how a stampede has happened, and when a large number of people have turned up. So the authorities are also concerned and worried about that. At least that's what they are telling us when we speak to them. They and off the record, they are saying that when organizers are when they are doing programs of this magnitude, they should have approached the government and got necessary permissions ahead of this.
Right. Now, of course, if you were to look at the statements by the BJP, they are saying that this is a clear conspiracy behind the sudden halt to the construction work, and also saying that this is a sabotage to the Kumbh Mela and to demoralize the pilgrims. How do you assess those statements? I hope you can hear me, Neetu.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Right, I'm saying, of course, if you were to listen to the statements made by the BJP as well, they are saying that this is clear conspiracy and an attempt to sabotage the Kumbh Mela and demoralize the pilgrims. So what's your assessment of that? All right, I believe we are having some issue with that line. We'll try and get Neetu back online with us, but this is where things stand right now. Let me just break this down for you one more time. This is the latest news that we're getting from Kerala, where a row has erupted over a stop memo on the temporary bridge for the Tirunavaya Mahamaga festival. Revenue officials have issued a stop memo and for the construction of a bridge, citing environmental hazards, also saying that there's no definitive security or disaster management plan in place. That has sparked a political row as well. There have been concerns that this perhaps may be a sabotage attempt. However, we'll continue to get you more details on this as and when we have more information and more voices on this as well. Let's shift our focus for now. Now, ahead of the high-stakes BMC battle, Shiv Sena UBT leader Sanjay Raut put out a post asking all Marathi people to unite, saying if we are united, we are safe. So there a call by the Shiv Sena UBT leader Sanjay Raut who's put out a post asking all Marathi people to unite, saying that if we are united, we are safe. As you know, the heat is turning up ahead of the high-stakes BMC battle, and that's a clarion call by Shiv Sena UBT leader asking all Marathi people to unite. So this is a statement by UBT Sena MP Sanjay Raut, who's put out a post asking all Marathi people to unite, saying that if we are united, we are safe. And this comes ahead of the BMC polls. As you can tell, of course, this is a high-stakes battle here as well, and that's a call by the Shiv Sena UBT leader Sanjay Raut. For more on this, we have Yesha Kotak live with us. Yesha, thank you so much for joining me. Of course, we're seeing the heat has turned up ahead of the BMC battle. What can you tell us?
So when we speak of this, of course, clearly what's come to forth is that in the last couple of days, both the Thackeray cousins had come together. Now, the Thackeray cousins have decided to fight together as alliance in the upcoming BMC elections, which is due tomorrow. Amidst all of this, of course, there are questions that have been raised. One, particularly when the Thackeray cousins took a joint rally at Shivaji Park, they particularly said that the Marathi Manus has to come together, to which there were a lot of critical comments that had come in. In fact, we've also seen how the Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis had said that the Thackeray cousins are creating a fake narrative that the Marathi Manus is in danger. Now, amidst all of this, we've seen that Sanjay Raut visited Raj Thackeray's residence this morning, Shivdir, just ahead of tomorrow's election, and has given this call of Ek Hai to Safe Hai, which clearly means, giving out a message that the people should believe in them, and that's where the Thackeray cousins, if this come together, they will protect the identity and the pride of Marathi Manus. Let's understand this whole context in the wake of the fact that when the Thackeray cousins had announced their alliance, what was important to note is that there were posters that came up right outside Shiv Sena Bhavan at Dadar, on the lines of Batenge to Katenge, stating that that if the North Indian community gets divided now at this very point, then they will be the one who will face flack after the BMC elections. So all of these are important junctures, important points that have been spoken about during the election campaign, when we speak of the Thackeray cousins coming in together, and which is where this very message is kind of is an answer to to all of these messages that have been conveyed by either the Mahayuti or, for that matter, the posters that came up by the Thackeray cousins. Yes.
Absolutely, Esha. Now, of course, as we've been reporting as well, and you've been also bringing us all the latest developments on this, the stage is all set for the Maharashtra civic polls to be held tomorrow. Of course, they are being held in the state after a gap of 4 years and are being contested amid much acrimony across party lines as well, and in light of which we are also seeing these sort of statements and rhetoric come out. How do you think this resonates with the people?
So absolutely, when we've been in fact speaking to people across the city, what's important to note is that, like you rightly mentioned, these very elections are being held after a gap of 4 years, which means the BMC elections are being held after 9 years, and a lot has changed in the political landscape of Maharashtra in the last 9 years. Last time when the BMC election took place was an undivided Shiv Sena along with BJP, which was in alliance, and that's when the BMC elections were held. We clearly saw how, despite Shiv Sena being short of 2 seats, they were the one who had their mayor decided, as compared to BJP, which had a higher number of seats. Now a lot of things have changed, but the ground reality also remains that a lot of ground reality in Mumbai has also changed when it comes to development projects, or for that matter, the constant redevelopment that is taking place, the constant roads that are dug up, or for that matter, the AQI levels which have risen drastically in the last couple of years. So all of these are concerns that the Mumbaiker is really facing, and for a city like Mumbai, it is always said that the city of Mumbai never sleeps. So what's important at this point is that while there are a lot of political narratives being played, that of Hindutva versus Maharashtrian, that of Maharashtrian versus North Indian, and what we've also seen is that while the parties have been divided, we've also seen that the alliances have split. Be it Mahayuti, wherein the Shiv Sena and BJP are contesting together, but the NCP of Ajit Pawar has gone separated. On the other hand, when it comes to Mahavikas Aghadi, also we are seeing that the NCP of Sharad Pawar, in Shiv Sena of Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray and the MNS, they are contesting together, whereas Congress is ahead to go their own way. So a lot of things have changed, but the political narrative still remain, be the Batenge to Katenge narrative, be the Hindu versus Marathi narrative, or for that matter, North Indian versus Marathi narrative. But for a Mumbaiker, what we've in fact realized over a span of the last couple of weeks that we've been covering this election is that for a Mumbaiker, the focus is clearly on development, the focus on the key issues that the Mumbaiker really faces, and we'll have to wait to see as to who really delivers on those promises, is on whom the Mumbaiker really put their trust on Jan 16th.
Right. All right, Yasha, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. Now, actor politician Vijay has been summoned by the CBI once again on the 19th of January for a second round of questioning, even as he continues to receive political backing over the delayed release of his film Jana Nayagan. Support has come from across the political spectrum, including leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi, who, according to sources, has asked party cadre to back Vijay amid speculation of a possible alliance. In a state where Dravidian politics has long set the rhythm, Vijay's political entry is being seen as a potential shift from the established order. Rahul Gandhi has publicly voiced support for Vijay in his film Stuck in Limbo. With Vijay's team returning the warm signals, the outreach also comes at a time, this is important to note, when relations between the Congress and the DMK have seen strain over seat sharing, power sharing issues. Amid the showdown, the Supreme Court is set to hear the producer's plea on the 15th of January, that's tomorrow, regarding the certification of Vijay's film Jana Nayagan. So that's where things stand right now. The actor Vijay has received support from Rahul Gandhi. We may be looking at a potential alliance here, is what we're given to understand just by way of how things are panning out right now. But it has been a setback after another for actor politician Vijay, who's been summoned by the CBI on the 19th of January for a second round of questioning as well. This even as he continues to receive political backing over the delayed release of his film Jana Nayagan. We are seeing support pour across from across the political spectrum, including leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi. We're given to understand that the DMK might be a little miffed there. We are going to see some overhaul here is what we're given to understand. However, how actually things pan out, that's something that remains to be seen. Purnima, thank you so much for joining me for more on this. You have been tracking all the developments on this front. Vijay has been summoned by the CBI for a second round of questioning. We saw the line of questioning which was taken by the CBI during the first round of interrogations. What can you tell us? What are we going to see this time around?
Vijay has been summoned yet again on the 19th of January. And interesting developments as far as TVK Congress is concerned. Speculation is that TVK and Congress are reportedly in talks. This after Rahul Gandhi, just before his visit to Tamil Nadu, had in fact for the first time backed Vijay on social media. He said that Jana Nayagan movie has been delayed and blamed the centre over it. Both the DMK and the Congress on the record maintain that all is well as far as their alliance is concerned, and they are only blaming the centre for reportedly using the censor board as a weapon, and it's nothing to do with an alliance discussion. That's something that the Congress also on the record says, that this does not mean that we are going to form an alliance with the TVK. We are only blaming the centre for using for using censor board as a weapon. That's the allegation put forth by both the DMK and the Congress on the record. But whether the discussions will continue between the TVK and the Congress, only time will tell.
Absolutely. Now, Purnima, given the sort of cloud that Vijay commands, we are seeing the impact of that as well. And when we talk about this potential new alliance, what sort of an impact that's going to have on the state and how it's going to be received by the people, that is of course something that remains to be seen as well. When we speak of Jana Nayagan, where of course the Supreme Court is set to hear the producer's plea tomorrow on the 15th of January, what are some of the key points that they are going to put forth? Because we know that the High Court had observed that the producers really just put out a release date and they were creating this sort of unnecessary pressure when it comes to the release of Jana Nayagan.
Well, the makers of Jana Nayagan had moved to the Supreme Court. Their side of argument is this. On the 19th of December, the censor board had gotten back to them, asking them to make a few cuts. They made the few cuts and they resubmitted the movie after making those cuts in around 20th, 21st December. However, since then, there was no sort of communication given to them from the censor board. Only when the case came up for hearing last week, just 4 days before the movie release, the makers decided to move the court because they were yet to get the censor certificate. That is when the CBFC said that of the 5-member committee, one member had filed a complaint copy saying that some of the dialogues hurt religious sentiments. They were asked to produce the complaint copy, and the producers and the makers of Jana Nayagan say that majority of them did not have objections to it. They've already made cuts that were suggested to them. So why the delay? So that's going to be their side of argument. The CBFC, however, is of the view that they will take time and that the release date was announced even before they had given a go-ahead for the censor certificate. So we'll have to wait and see which way the arguments go. But legal battles ahead for the makers of Jana Nayagan when political parties, including the Congress, have backed Vijay over the entire issue.
Absolutely, Purnima. And when we talk about the fact that the TVK and Vijay's team were given to understand, been responding positively to the warm signals by the Congress, what can you tell us?
TVK sources continue to maintain that their ideological enemy is the BJP and their political enemy is the DMK, and any other party that's open to accepting Vijay as a CM face can join their front. This includes the Congress too. They've openly said that Congress is welcome to join the TVK and they've not denied the possibility of discussions between the TVK and the Congress. Remember, infighting within the Congress was evident over the last couple of days. We've seen many Congress leaders back Vijay openly talking about not just sharing of seats, but also sharing of power is something that the Congress wants this time in Tamil Nadu. So these have been the observations made by several leaders of the Congress from Tamil Nadu. On whether the discussions will end on a positive note, we'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, DMK Congress maintain that all is well as far as their alliance is concerned. And it's only the political opponents who are trying to make this an issue.
Absolutely. Now, when you talk about the fact that the TVK is always maintained that their political enemies are the DMK, and when we're talking about the power sharing and seat sharing issues that we've been witnessing between the Congress and the DMK as well, given this warming of ties between perhaps the Congress and TVK going forward, are we going to see further fractures in that alliance?
Well, we'll have to wait and see, because in politics anything can happen, and the next 1 month will be crucial in understanding how the alliance arithmetic works. Even for the AIADMK and the BJP, AIADMK General Secretary Edapadi also saying that a new party is going to join them, and that announcement will be made post-Pongal. We'll have to wait and see how alliances shape in Tamil Nadu, because that will also help determine which way the elections could go. So at the moment, DMK's strength is its allies, and they are saying that the alliance is very much intact. Even the Congress High Command, maybe there's infighting as far as Tamil Nadu Congress is concerned, but the Congress High Command have they've always maintained.
All right, thank you so much for that, Poonima. Of course, we'll keep an eye on this one as well. We are getting more information right now. Let's shift our focus. This is the breaking news that's coming in. Dr. Shaheen sent to 3 days police remand, we're given to understand, after being in judicial custody for at least 1 month. NIA sought her custody once again. CNN News 18 has accessed the order copy. Sending Dr. Shaheen in 3 days remand is what we're learning right now. Remand order was passed yesterday and reveals that Dr. Shaheen's PC has been sought to explain code words which perhaps were used by this entire module. PC was also sought to decode incriminating material that has surfaced after forensic examination of all of the digital devices. For more on this, we have Ananya Bhatnagar live with us. Ananya, thank you so much for joining me. Big development that we're hearing of here. We are also hearing that her PC was sought to further explain some code words which perhaps the module was using. What can you tell us of this 3 days police remand?
Well, absolutely. This 3 days of police remand, 4 days of police remand was actually sought yesterday by the National Investigation Agency. However, only 3 days was granted. But what is more important here is the kind of order copy that we have accessed here at CNN News 18, the only channel to have the Red Fort blast order copy, very categorically mentioning as to how, certain code words are to be decoded, and hence Dr. Shaheen and other, 4 other accused persons have been taken on police custody. Not only that, they will also be confronted with each other, is what the National Investigation Agency told, in fact, a special court, a special NIA court here in the national capital. Apart from that, it also stated that a lot of incriminating material has come to the fore after, in fact, a forensic examination, and this incriminating material reveals that there have been locations apart from the national capital which are in Uttar Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir that were on the target of these of this particular module, and much more is to be unearthed as far as things are concerned, because these incriminating documents and the kind of digital evidence that has been seized by the National Investigation Agency goes on to reveal a lot about the plot that is there. And in fact, these code words that were being used by, Dr. Shaheen and her accomplices is something that needs to be decoded, is what the National Investigation Agency has gone on to tell, in fact, the Delhi's Patiala House Court.
Absolutely, Ananya. As you mentioned, there's so much more here that remains to be unpacked and decoded going forward. Of course, we'll continue to bring you all developments on this front as well, as and when we have more information on this. But that's where things stand right now. Dr. Shaheen has been sent to 3-day police remand. Now, with that, we're going to slip into a very short break, but don't go anywhere. News and updates will continue on the other side on CNN News 18. Stay tuned.
Is synonymous with the maximum city. It is its very lifeline.
After 8 long years, the Mumbai Municipal Corporation elections are finally set to take place.
One alliance versus fractured opposition. Who will Mumbai choose? Ballot Maximum City. Complete coverage on CNN News 18. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
We are now cutting across to this piece of breaking news where we are learning that at least 12 people have been killed after a construction crane fell into a moving train in northeastern Thailand. This is an unfortunate update that we are having to bring for our viewers because of the number of casualties that this accident has reported. At least 12 people who are believed to have been killed, and this after a crane has fallen onto a moving train. All of this has happened in northeastern Thailand. We are now looking at more updates. We are also in fact given to understand that the number can go up to even 22 and many others who have been injured. This is what we are picking up, and these are the visuals that we managed to in fact source for our viewers as a construction crane collapses onto a moving train, and that has ended up killing many people. At least 12, the number could go up to more than 20 is what we are picking up, and these are very, very distressing visuals that we have for our viewers on the screens. My colleague Akanksha Swaroop with all of those details. Akanksha, anything else that you're picking up? Very, very distressing piece of information that we are having to put out for our viewers.
Right, Griha, in fact, the death toll is rising. Earlier it was being reported that 12 people have been killed, but in the latest information that we have received, 22 people are reportedly dead, 30 injured, and perhaps the death toll could in fact go up further. And if you actually go by the visuals that are coming in, you can see how the crane actually collapsed on that moving train, which led to this tragedy. Could it have been averted? Only an investigation will be able to indicate. But why was the train passing through this semi-constructed area? It was a construction crane that fell onto this moving train in northeastern Thailand. We await more details to emerge in terms of what really led to that collapse of that crane onto the train. But in fact, if you were to go by the visuals that we have received so far, you can see that the train has been left into ramshackles, and actually it's completely collapsed. So what's right now of prime concern is that will the death toll remain at 22, or is it going to further go up? There's, of course, rescue operations that are currently on, because remember, 30 people are already injured. They are being rushed to the nearby hospitals is what we are being told. And perhaps in some time from now, we'll be able to ascertain better the exact number of people who have died, but it's extremely deeply tragic and disturbing. 22 people already dead, and you can see the way the train has completely left in a charred condition. It's completely collapsed. It's in fact, as you can see, the visuals that are coming in, the smoke billowing out of a collapsed train, and this crane that actually collapsed on top of it. But what's extremely shocking is how was the train allowed to pass through a semi-constructed site, and what exactly led to the collapse of that crane. We await more details to emerge, but these are breaking inputs that we are receiving in this horrific train tragedy that has taken place in northeastern Thailand, Griha.
Right, Akanksha, I was also reading through a couple of reports that are emerging, and this is as per the local police. They were saying that the crane was moving on a high-speed rail project when this collapse and crash onto that passing train really happened. Any details that could be picked up from the local authorities there in Thailand, or is it too early to assess the situation at the moment?
So what you're saying is actually right, and yes, this is what the reports are indicating, that this crane was actually moving at a very high speed. And what we can tell our viewers right now is that this accident has taken place in the wee hours of Wednesday morning in the Sikioi district of Nakhon Ratchasima province, and the train was bound for Thailand's Ubon Ratchathani province, and local media reports are indicating that this crane was actually on a high-speed rail project when it collapsed, and that's when it hit the passing train. Why was the train taking a route through semi-construction site? All of that detail is currently awaited. But what we are also learning from the reports that are emerging so far is that it was the high speed of the crane that caused the train to derail and even catch fire. So also videos that are emerging currently on social media are also indicating how the rescue work is also underway. The first responders are actually over there. But remember, like most train tragedy, what actually makes it most challenging for the first responders is how they have to cut through the train and the metal to actually rescue those who are trapped inside the wreckage of that destroyed train. So, and that's exactly what first responders are currently doing at this site as well, where they have to cut through the train wreckage to rescue those injured people. Close to 33 or 30, in fact, injured have been rescued so far. The fire has been extinguished and the rescue work is still underway, is what we're being told we have.
Right, Akanksha, do stay on with us. Very, very distressing piece of information that we are having to put out for our viewers. We are just putting out those visuals as well on the big screen on the wall here. And there you can see the under construction bridge. This is where the construction was taking place. This seems to be of a high-speed rail project in Thailand. When the train... in fact, the crane that was part of the construction site ended up falling on a passing train, a passenger train. And this is where the train also caught fire, and that's why you could see the smoke bellowing. The fire has been doused. Akanksha was just mentioning about that latest status report. But there you see the train completely collapsed and toppled from the tracks because of the impact of this collision and the crane falling onto the train, because of which at least 22 people have been killed. And that is the unfortunate part. The number could be higher, it could go up. There are many people, possibly 70, who are injured is what we are learning. And this is what the wreckage really...
Welcome back to CNN News 18 with me, Hem Kaur Saroyana. Here's the latest that we're bringing for you right now. Big development that's just coming in a CNN News 18 exclusive. Pakistan ISI, we're given to understand, is misusing the 1974 pilgrimage treaty and kidnapping Indian girls on pilgrimage visa. Sikh minorities in Pakistan, we're given to understand, are victims of targeted violence. Indian national Sabarimala Kaur was trapped in Pakistan, threatened. She continues to remain in a Lahore shelter home. We understand that there's no movement on her deportation. We're not expecting any developments on that front anytime soon. CNN News 18 has also accessed sensational video and audio of Sabarimala Kaur talking about the forced marriage and blackmail. Listen to this.
ਤੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਸੁਣ ਜੋ ਹੋਣਾ ਸੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਤੂੰ
ਨਹੀਂ ਬਸ ਮੈਂ ਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਹੁਣ ਬਸ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਾ ਨੰਬਰ ਦੇ ਦਿਓ
ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵਾਲੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਫੋਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੁੱਕਦੇ
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਥਾਣੇ ਦਾ
ਇੱਥੋਂ
ਥਾਣੇ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ
आपकी जो धर्मपत्नी थी सरबजीत कौर वो पाकिस्तान गई और उसके बाद उन्होंने दूसरे आदमी से शादी कर ली और आपका कहना ये है कि उसको वो वहाँ पे जो नासिर हुसैन है वो ब्लैकमेल कर रहा है इसके बारे में जरा कुछ बताएं।
ਉਹਨੇ ਬਲੈਕਮੇਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਜੀ ਉਦੋਂ ਤਿੰਨਾਂ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਬਲੈਕਮੇਲ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹਨੇ ਇਹਦੀਆਂ ਫੋਟੋ ਬਣਾ ਲੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਨੰਗੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਫੋਟੋ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਬਲੈਕਮੇਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਫੋਟੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਪਾਈਆਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਪੁੱਤਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਾਈਆਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਘਰ ਵਾਲੀ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਭਰਾ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਾਈਆਂ ਬਾਰ-ਬਾਰ ਉਹ ਪਾਉਂਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜਲੀਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਨੇ ਤੇ ਬਸ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਮਜਬੂਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਉਣ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਆ ਕੇ ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਨਾਸਰ ਹੁਸੈਨ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਰਿਕਵੈਸਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਵੀ ਨਾਸਰ ਹੁਸੈਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਾ ਕਰਾਉਣ ਚੱਕੇ ਵੀ ਫੋਟੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਾਈਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਈਆਂ ਇਹਨੇ ਸੱਚ ਦੱਸੋ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੀ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਵੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਭੇਜਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ
तो मेरा करनाल सिंह जी एक सवाल ये था कि वो किस तरह से नासिर हुसैन के टच में कैसे आई?
ये सोशल मीडिया जी वो मजबूर किया ना, उन्हें बहुत मजबूर करता सी, बहुत परेशान करता है सानू।
तो अब अभी उनकी शादी हो गई है? अभी जो मीडिया में रिपोर्ट्स आई हैं उसके हिसाब से तो उनकी पूरी शादी वादी हो गई है।
वो ब्लैकमेल करके ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਪਿਸਤੌਲ ਵੀ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਗਨ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਤੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਾਇਆ ਉਹਨੇ। ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਵਾਕਿਏ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਰਬਜੀਤ ਫੋਨ ਕਰਦੀ ਰਹੀ ਆ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਚਾ ਇੱਥੋਂ। ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਰਿਕਾਰਡਿੰਗ ਪਈ ਆ ਸਾਰੀ, ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਪਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਵਾ।
तो आपके हिसाब से इसके पीछे ISI भी है?
नहीं जी, ਇਹੋ जी कोई गल नहीं हैगी।
तो अभी आपकी आखिरी बार सरबजीत कौर से कब बातचीत हुई है?
ਇਹ ਫਸਣ ਤੋਂ ਥੋੜੇ ਦਿਨ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਕਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਸੀ ਆ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਮਕਾਨ ਦੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਸਰਬਜੀਤ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਦੀ ਰਹੀ। ਆ ਮਕਾਨ ਵਾ।
All right, for more on this, we have Anand Narasimhan live with us. Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. Of course, it's absolutely gut-wrenching to hear what we just heard right now on those audio recordings as well. Blackmailed for 3 years, we're given to understand private videos and pictures on gunpoint. Further proof of just how deep this web of violence, conversion and radicalization runs.
Good afternoon, Hem, and to our viewers. It's one aspect that Hindus in Pakistan have been subject to huge amount of atrocities and torment, and they've been treated not just as second or third class citizens but 10th class citizens over in Pakistan, and the Islamist groups have run roughshod. Every year the average number is about 1,000 Hindu girls being abducted, forcefully converted, and even underage minor girls who are now being abducted and taken away by much older and senior men, or being married off by force or by slight. Now, in this case, this is entrapment. This is seduction, entrapment that's been conducted. And this is a lady who's not saying that she's doing it of her own free will, contrary to her husband's claims. We've played out the audio where she's crying and she's pleading for her ex-husband to say, do something, but get me out of this hell. I've been trapped here. Now, what we are given to understand is that the Jatha route, the pilgrimage route, was used to try and not just ensnare Sarabjit but also to hold her back, and then she got married off locally there in Pakistan and she's been held back there. Now, this is a violation of the 1974 agreement that was struck between Bharat and Pakistan, and post Operation Sindoor, post Pahalgam and Operation Sindoor, there seems to be an intensive effort to try and use these routes, the routes for like the Kartarpur Sahib corridor, which is now operational, to try and influence Bharatiya citizens and especially women, and to try and lure them, entrap them, and then honey trap them, and at the end of the day use them for nefarious means, or to forcefully convert them and to then hold them back against their will in Pakistan. So Sarabjit's is the latest issue that's now that we are putting out here at CNN News 18, where the ex-husband is saying what kind of torment Sarabjit's family, he himself, the children had to undergo and what transpired. But more importantly, this is something that needs to the international community needs to learn, because this is something that is an international agreement, or something which at a world level everybody understands that pilgrimage routes will not be used for covert purposes, or will not be used for these kind of agendas, nefarious agendas. But that's what's being done brazenly by Pakistan, and perhaps the international community needs to take note of this.
Absolutely. Now we're getting more information. Top government sources tell CNN News 18 that she was forced to marry a Muslim man and then converted to Islam after the Pahalgam attack and Operation Sindoor onslaught by India. Pakistan ISI mindset has now changed, we're understanding, and they are doing this very aggressively. So what we're further seeing is intensification of these sort of operations which have come to light. Sarabjit Kaur's case just being one of many. Pakistan ISI mindset has changed after being rattled by Operation Sindoor, which was in retaliation of the cowardly Pahalgam terror attack. Let's listen in to what we're learning of this right now.
ਬੀਬੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ 7 ਸਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ, ਇਹਨੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਸ਼ਾਦੀ ਦੇ ਵਾਅਦੇ ਕੀਤੇ ਸੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ।
ਅੱਛਾ
ਠੀਕ ਆ, मैं ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਬੂਤ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਸਬੂਤ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਭੇਜਾਂਗਾ ਵਿਦ ਪ੍ਰੂਫ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਭਾਜੀ ਔਰਤ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਤਲਬ ਸ਼ਾਦੀ ਦੇ ਭੈਣ ਭਰਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਆਪਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੁਲਾਵਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਉਂਦੀ ਸੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਭੈਣ ਮੇਰਾ ਭਰਾ ਵਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਭਰਜਾਈ ਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਕਰ ਕਰਾ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੀ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ
ਤੂੰ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਨਨਕਾਣੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ
ਜੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਫੈਜ਼ਾਬਾਦ ਥਾਣਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਤੈਨੂੰ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਭਾਜੀ
ਤੇ ਵੱਡਾ ਭਾਈ ਮੇਰਾ ਐਸਐਚਓ ਲੱਗਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਫੈਤ ਖੋਖਰ ਹੋਣ ਹੀ ਲੱਗਾ ਪਰਸੋਂ
ਜੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਪਤਾ ਕਫੈਤ ਖੋਖਰ ਦਾ ਐਸਐਚਓ ਲੱਗਾ ਹੁਣ
ਜੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਮੁਲਾਜ਼ਮ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਬੇਟਾ ਵਾਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਵੇਖੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਉਹਦੀ ਗੱਲ
ਨਹੀਂ ਇਹ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਮਾਂ ਭੈਣ ਦੀ ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਖਰਾਬ ਕਰੋ ਦੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਲਾਓ ਤਸਵੀਰਾਂ ਲਾਓ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੋਸ਼ਰੇ ਟੋਟਲ
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਭਾਜੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋ ਮੈਂ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਨਾ ਬਣਾਈਆਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਇਹਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ਾਦੀ ਦੇ ਵਾਅਦੇ ਕੀਤੇ ਸੀ
All right, going back to Anand Arsman for more on this, there the audio recording of Nasir, who is the accused in this case, also saying that I've been with her for 7 years. She made promises of marriage with me. What we're really seeing is that Pakistan clearly has left no stone unturned to deploy every possible means for such actions.
He has slandered her on social media. He's leaked videos of her and he's trying to say that she is the one who snapped me, ensnared me. But on the other hand, the family says for this torment has been going on for the last 3 years. Now the contact has been made via social media. But the Pakistani authorities should not allow this. This is not kosher by any law. To try and hold somebody by force or one family trying to stop the other. If someone goes of their own free will and decides to renege Indian citizenship and live in Pakistan, that is another matter. Here a person is saying that she is being tormented. There are two people who are making particular claims. One is saying I would like to protect the honor and bring her back safely. The other one is trying to leak videos, push her out on social media and defame this person. So whose intent is genuine or not, that's one point. The other thing is it's an Indian citizen who's being held back against her will in Pakistan, and the international community needs to see, because what was used was the Jattha route, what was used was the pilgrimage route, and that's where the issue is. People going across there and staying back or being held back when they go on pilgrimage. Now this is something another part. She has not sought asylum. There are West Pak Hindus who come to Bharat. They may not go back, but at that point they come out and officially seek asylum, register themselves with the Indian government and say we don't want to go back because we are being tormented there, and they are minorities. In this case, it's being done to try and entrap a lady. And that's where the authorities believe and Indian agencies believe the international community and those within the Western world who have an influence with Pakistan need to raise this matter and highlight this and say this is not done.
Right, Anand, thank you so much for that. Let's just once again for our viewers bring you that recording of Sarabjit Kaur with her ex-husband. Listen to this.
ਤੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਸੁਣ ਜੋ ਹੋਣਾ ਸੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਤੂੰ
ਨਹੀਂ ਬਸ ਮੈਂ ਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਹੁਣ ਮਤਲਬ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਾ ਨੰਬਰ ਦੇ ਦਿਓ
ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵਾਲੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਫੋਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੁੱਕਦੇ
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਥਾਣੇ ਦਾ
ਇੱਥੋਂ
ਥਾਣੇ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ
All right, and shifting our focus now, Parashakti political storm that's intensifying. Congress first calls for a ban and now is attacking the team of Parashakti. Parashakti team is saying that Congress, Sangi Pongal jab by the Congress is also something that is coming to light. So this is what we're learning of right now. As you know, there's a political war of words that has broken out over the release of Parashakti, a political storm that's intensifying further. The Congress had first called for a ban, is now attacking the entire team behind the movie. There's a political war of words that has broken out over the release of this movie. What they are contending is that there has been a misrepresentation of history and Congress leaders. Listen to the various reactions that are coming in.
Social media also, and his film it will release soon. Thank you.
One incident happened
No, I don't want to talk about that. Thank you so much.
All right, so this is the entire war of words that we're talking about over the Tamil film Parashakti, which has courted controversy right since its trailer was released earlier this month. It has run into censorship hurdles as well. It's drawn the ire of fans and the Congress party alike. Now, of course, this particular movie that we're talking about is set against a backdrop of 1960s Hindi imposition agitation in Tamil Nadu. The Congress there contends that there has been a misrepresentation of history, and Congress leaders, they've spoken about misrepresentation of facts, and they do not agree with the characterization of Indira Gandhi in this film as well. They've hit out at the makers of the movie, asking for a ban of Parashakti, and there is a complete storm that is now brewing when the Congress is calling for a ban of Parashakti. They've attacked the team of the movie as well, and a political war of words that has broken out over the release of this film. Now, of course, there are many who have also hailed the historical tribute of Parashakti as well. We are seeing the varying accounts that have come to the fore. For more on this, we have Pallavi live with us. Thank you so much for joining me, Pallavi. There, a war of words further intensifying calls for a ban over Parashakti's release.
Yes, so there are two interesting things which is happening over here, Him. One, of course, is the outrage over what the Congress party is calling a selective ban or selective censorship. They're saying that why Jana Nayagan has not been given that clearance. You have the other Parashakti which has been given a clearance, and the presence of the actor at that event at Murugan's residence where the Prime Minister was there has made the Congress party suspect and make the larger point that the reason why Jana Nayagan has not got and the clearance has been given to Parashakti is because they have bent backwards to please the government. That's one. But more interesting part over here, I'm saying, is that on the basis, riding piggyback on the movies, there's another kind of politics which is being played out, and that is a coalition or alliance politics. The outright support being given by the Congress party to actor Vijay for his movie Jana Nayagan, and Manickam Tagore himself is referring to that. Rahul Gandhi's post we spoke about earlier today, which was again made yesterday while he was in Tamil Nadu, goes on to show that they are using that as a benchmark to kind of play around and tinker with the various permutations and combinations.
Absolutely, you are right. We are seeing a bit of a pattern emerge there. Once again, let's just listen to the various reactions that have come in also.
No propaganda. I don't have any propaganda also.
Congress is claiming
No, they will understand it. If they watch the film, maybe or the second time, they will understand it even better. And all of us are brothers, and we are not trying to say anything extra also.
Sir, what about Vijay?
I wished him for his political journey, personally also, and in social media also. And his film, it will release soon.
All right, there's Karthikeyan saying that, of course, if they watch the film for the second time, they will understand even better, though they don't want to say much right now, also wishing Vijay all the best there. So how do you assess this?
Very interesting, because he was, of course, talking in the context of Jana Nayagan not getting that green signal as far as the censorship is concerned. And there has been a lot of outrage and anger over it. While the DMK, for very obvious reasons, has been more or less quiet because the DMK doesn't want to engage much with actor Vijay, because they are also now political opponents. The Congress party, which is toying with the idea of a possible alliance with the TVK, has come out outrightly in support. And I think it's come from the top. It's come from clearly from Rahul Gandhi, now Manickam Tagore, again someone who is a member of parliament from Tamil Nadu, Virudnagar, and also very, very close to Rahul Gandhi. So the comparison which is being made here is that Jana Nayagan is not getting that clearance because, one, the movie is based on projecting Vijay as a hero, but Parashakti has got it because it is believed to be anti-Congress, and therefore the presence of the crew at this ceremony or the Pongal event where the Prime Minister was there, just goes on to show that again a game is being played by the BJP.
Right, Pallavi, of course, and as you mentioned also, in light of all of this, consequentially, we are seeing that there are some other permutations and combinations which may emerge out of all of these controversies that we are seeing play out as well. Let's just listen to that reaction one more time.
No propaganda. I don't have any propaganda also.
Congress is claiming
No, they will understand it. If they watch the film, maybe or the second time, they will understand it even better. And all of us are brothers, and we are not trying to say anything extra also.
Sir, what about Vijay?
I wished him for his political journey, personally also, and in social media also. And his film, it will release soon.
All right now joining me, Narendra Tirupati from BJP. Thank you so much for joining me, sir. What's your reaction to this entire controversy that's broken out over Parashakti?
Just a movie, it has told certain facts, what happened in 1965, the agitations, Hindi agitations under the Congress rule in Tamil Nadu. Definitely, there were huge showers that time in Tamil Nadu, and it was supported, the Hindi agitation was supported by DMK and it was opposed by the Congress. And the Congress was supported by E.V. Ramaswamy, which this Parashakti movie has not revealed. See, that is what the Congress has to ask, but they are not asking that. Mr. E.V. Ramaswamy, fondly called as Periyar by DK and DMK here, he said that those who are agitating against Hindi should be shot. That is what he demanded the government. Why this Congress is not asking that with the DMK? So they want power also, they want alliance also. The entire issue is this. The Congress people, particularly some member of parliament, are opposing DMK, thinking that DMK is a waste luggage because for the past 4.5 years, the deterioration of law and order and unable to stop crimes, huge liquor and drug menace has created a lot of anti-DMK wave in Tamil Nadu, and they think that DMK is a waste luggage. The DMK in turn feels that after the loss of Congress in Bihar, feels that Congress is a waste luggage. So that is why these people are fighting with each other, and they are trying to create regional issues, language issues, everything. So both are responsible for the situation.
Right, absolutely. Now, we've also seen how Rahul Gandhi has reached out to Vijay over the other film which we're talking about is Jana Nayagan as well. When we talk about that, do you think this is just a sign of a deepening rift between the DMK and the Congress?
This is a immature tweet or a statement made by Rahul Gandhi. See, CBFC does its duty as per the laws and regulations that is done by the act of Parliament for more than 3 years. What is this? Why should Rahul Gandhi poke his nose into some movies? He was called as a Jana Nayagan in Bihar. He tested his thumb, he thumped his chest stating that he is Jana Nayagan of Bihar, but Bihar they lost in a huge margin. That is what is going to happen in Tamil Nadu also. So these are wrong foot. Totally they are trying to confuse and create a lot of troubles in Tamil Nadu, unnecessarily creating language war and regional war.
All right. Also joining me right now on the broadcast, Mr. R. Rajgopalan. Thank you so much for joining me. What's your take on what's happening right now?
Congress is totally divided in Tamil Nadu. Okay. DMK is also wanting that at least Congress should get out of the alliance because Congress is extra luggage for them. That is what DMK also feeling. In the short, why should Manickam Tagore say that it is a Tangi Pongal? So that means they were expecting Parashakti came to be with the Congress side. They have crossed over. So therefore, Tamil Nadu politics is also encouraging upon Tamil cinema industry. Tamil cinema industry is also divided into DMK and anti-DMK. Congress is in the left in the lurch. Yesterday, why should Mr. Rahul Gandhi tweet? Rahul Gandhi's tweet has created a lot of disbelief against this DMK alliance.
Right. Now, what we're seeing playing out here, what you mentioned earlier, just for better understanding, what you're essentially saying here is perhaps the DMK also views the Congress as a liability at this point?
Yes, yes. Congress is extra luggage for DMK. That is what DMK is thinking because they want to have power. To get the power, 3 ministries they want. They want PWD, Public Works Department, they want Irrigation Department like that. They want a common minimum program, which DMK is not interested. Why should a pre-poll alliance have assurance of ministry making? They cannot do it. So that is why Congress is in the crossroads. DMK is going to dump Congress in the lurch.
All right. That being said, then of course, when we are seeing warming of ties between the Congress and the TVK as well, we're also given to understand that the TVK has been responding positively to that. Do you think there's a new alliance on the horizon? All right, I believe we've lost that connection. We'll try and get Mr. Rajagopalan back online with us for further discussions on this. Let's shift our focus for now. Tensions are soaring in Iran as reports emerge of nearly 2,000 deaths in a brutal crackdown on anti-government protests. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has urged demonstrators to keep going, saying that help is on the way, escalating already high tensions with Tehran. Now, Iran's defense minister has warned of a powerful response to any sort of US aggression. Top Iranian official Ali Larijani has blamed Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu for all the bloodshed. Meanwhile, 26-year-old Irfan Soltani faces execution for protesting against Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, marking the first such sentence in the uprising and amid a 130-hour internet blackout. Elon Musk SpaceX has stepped in, offering free Starlink satellites access to Iranians seeking to stay connected. Listen to this.
همانطور که در پیام قبلی به شما گفتم، صدای شما و شجاعت شما را جهانیان نه تنها دیدن و شنیدن، بلکه دارن اکنون اقدام میکنن. قاعدتاً تا به حال بایستی پیام رئیس جمهور امریکا را در ضمن شنیده باشید. کمک در راه هست. مبارزه را همطور که تا به حال انجام دادید ادامه میدید. نگذارید که این نظام شرایط رو عادی جلوه بکند. بعد از این همه کشتار اخیر، یک دریا خون بین ما و این رژیم هست. یادداشت کنید اسامی این جنایتکاران رو. یه روزی به سزای اعمالشون خواهند رسید. و اما پیام ویژه‌ای دارم به پرسنل ارتش. شما ارتش ملی ایران هستید، نه ارتش جمهوری اسلامی. وظیفه دارید از جان همیهنانتون حفاظت بکنید. فرصت زیادی براتون نمونده. به مردم هرچی زودتر.
All right. Now, US President Donald Trump, we're given to understand, is exploring options for diplomacy with Iran, even as he weighs whether to attack Tehran or not. The Pentagon is presenting a wider range of strike options to Trump than was previously reported. Possible targets could include Iran's nuclear program, going beyond the American airstrikes that battered it in June last year. What a cyber attack or a strike against Iran's domestic security apparatus means, Zaka Jacob decodes.
US President Donald Trump is exploring options for diplomacy with Iran, even as he weighs whether or not to attack Tehran. The Pentagon is presenting him with a wider range of strike options than was previously reported. Possible targets include Iran's nuclear program, going far beyond the American airstrikes that battered it back in June. A cyber attack or even a strike against Iran's domestic security apparatus, which is using lethal force against the protesters, likely options. Any attack is still at least several days away and could prompt a vigorous retaliation from Iran.
I think one thing President Trump is very good at is always keeping all of his options on the table, and airstrikes would be one of the many options that are on the table for the commander-in-chief. Diplomacy is always the first option for the president. He's told all of you last night that what you're hearing publicly from the Iranian regime is quite differently from the messages the administration is receiving privately. And I think the president has an interest in exploring those messages. However, with that said, the president has shown he's unafraid to use military options if and when he deems necessary, and nobody knows that better than Iran.
On Monday, Trump issued a new threat, saying in a social media post that the United States would impose tariffs of 25% on any and all businesses done with the United States by countries that are also engaged in doing business with Iran. So any country that buys or sells with Iran will face the prospect of this 25% tariff. This would affect, among others, countries like China and India, which continue to do business with Iran, albeit in restricted amounts after the UN imposed sanctions on Tehran 5 years ago. India, Turkey, the Middle Eastern countries could all be most affected by this latest order, as well as, of course, China, which is the biggest buyer of Iranian oil. But President Trump and China's leader Xi Jinping have agreed to a truce last October in their ongoing trade war. That truce has held up until now, and the American president is hoping to keep relations with China stable in order to ensure that his planned visit to Beijing and his summit with Xi Jinping in Beijing in April, he desperately is seeking out not to derail that planned summit. On Monday, Iranian officials also appeared to temper down some of their anti-American rhetoric. They said that they were ready to talk with the Trump administration once again. Abbas Araghchi, who is the Iranian foreign minister, told a conference of foreign ambassadors in Tehran that Iran was not looking for war, even as it was prepared for war. He asked for negotiations which are fair and conducted with mutual respect.
ما خواهان جنگ نیستیم ولی برای جنگ آمادگی کامل داریم. در این حال همونطور که بارها گفتم ما برای مذاکره هم آمادگی داریم.
Iran also said that communication channels were open between Foreign Minister Araghchi and Steve Witkoff, who is Trump's special envoy for the Middle East. In fact, Witkoff was the person who was leading the US-Iran talks last summer. Iran claims that it never left the negotiating table, but it will not engage in one-sided negotiations. Those talks last year were on Iran's nuclear weapons program. They failed last summer. It eventually led to America and Israel jointly attacking 3 of Iran's top nuclear facilities in a 12-day war. America and Israel easily won that war. It was decisive, it was quick, and it decimated Iran's nuclear program. Iran is still reeling from the scars of that war.
Very good afternoon. You're watching CNN News 18. I'm Akanksha Swaroop. Let's bring you the headlines we're tracking at 1 p.m. Prime Minister Narendra Modi celebrates Pongal at Union Minister L. Murugan's residence, calls it a global festival, expresses pride over Tamil language. Congress sees red, dubs celebrations as Sanghi Pongal. Meanwhile, Team Parasakti attends Delhi celebrations. DMK calls it secular Pongal. Rahul Gandhi backs Vijay, urges Congress cadre to stand by the actor and explore alliance options. This as the actor faces fresh CBI summons in Karur case. BJP slams the Congress for snubbing German Chancellor, claims Chief Minister and his deputy skipped official duties to greet Rahul Gandhi instead. Kerala's High Court flags Sabarimala ghee embezzlement, cites systemic failures, notes 34 lakh misappropriation in a short span. Jaishankar and Marco Rubio hold talks on trade, defense and security as India and US push to ease strains and advance the trade deal. Amid India's 2036 Olympics ambition, Denmark badminton player calls out the subpar conditions during India Open, asks world body to cancel World Championship in India. A day after dismissing concerns raised by BCB over travelling to India, ICC once again asks Bangladesh Cricket Board to reconsider its stance. In Iran, the rising death toll fuels tensions as Tehran races for US action. Trump tells Iranians to keep protesting, says help is coming. It's Pongal today, and Tamil Nadu's celebrations have already sparked a fierce political war. Prime Minister Modi showcased Tamil culture at a grand event joined by actor Sivakarthikeyan of the film Parasakti. The Congress quickly dubbed it as Sanghi Pongal, accusing its team of siding with the Bharatiya Janata Party. Meanwhile, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has pitched what he calls a Dravidian Pongal, saying that the harvest festival transcends caste and even religion. The BJP has hit back, alleging DMK is stripping Pongal from Hindu tradition. But listen in to what Prime Minister Modi had to say.
पोंगल एक ग्लोबल फेस्टिवल बन चुका है। हमारे तमिल जीवन में पोंगल एक सुखद अनुभूति की तरह है। अन्नदाता की मेहनत, धरती, और सूर्य के प्रति आभार का भाव है। साथ ही ये पर्व हमें प्रकृति, परिवार और समाज में संतुलन बनाने का रास्ता दिखाता है। हमारी तमिल संस्कृति पूरे भारत की साझी विरासत है। इतना ही नहीं, पूरी मानवता की ये साझी विरासत है। मैं एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत की जिस भावना की बात करता हूं, उसे पोंगल जैसे पर्व और सशक्त बनाते हैं। तमिल संस्कृति दुनिया की सबसे प्राचीन जीवित सभ्यताओं में से एक है। तमिल संस्कृति सदियों को जोड़ती है। वो इतिहास से सीखकर वर्तमान को आगे का रास्ता दिखाती है।
No propaganda. I don't have any propaganda also.
Congress is claiming.
No, they will understand it. If they watch the film, maybe or the second time, they will understand it even better. And all of us are brothers, and we are not trying to say anything extra also.
Sir, what about Vijay?
I wished him for his political journey, personally also, and in social media also. And his film, it will release soon.
All right, getting in breaking input, staying on this news story. This as BJP leader K. Annamalai has hit out at MK Stalin, saying that Stalin has to understand that Hinduism is a way of life, and Pongal from time immemorial is a way of life too, and that it should be considered as a festival that belongs to India and cannot just be reduced to being part of the Dravidian culture. But let's also listen in to what Annamalai had to say in that conversation he had with CNN News 18's Anindya Banerjee.
Mr. Stalin has said that it's not a Pongal is not a Hindu festival. It's not there's no religion in it. Is it true?
Sir, anybody who sees a Pongal where we celebrate in Pongal, all the Panchabhutas, the fire, water, air, sand, if all the Panchabhutas we celebrate. And Stalin has to understand Hindu is a way of life, and Pongal from time immemorial is a way of life. And when Stalin chooses to see religion within a very closed doctrine, a closed border, then is sadly mistaken. Hindu religion itself is a celebration of way of life. Unfortunately, the Chief Minister Stalin ji, he doesn't know this. I remember distinctly 3-4 years back when he participated in a Pongal celebration, there was a pot kept. Instead of fire, there was cotton kept, and then they put some design, and then he just gave pose. A person who does Pongal like that, what does he know about Hindu ritual? What does he know about Hindu way of life? It's very unfortunate a person sitting in the Chief Minister's chair is making this kind of statement for the last 3-4 days.
All right, let's quickly go across to Pallavi Ghosh and Purnima Murli, who are both joining me live on the broadcast. Pallavi, by not acknowledging that Pongal is a Hindu festival, is MK Stalin himself, sort of contradicting the secular credentials that the DMK and he themselves boast of?
Well, frankly speaking, Akanksha, I think Purnima will bear me out on this, and I think this has been a different stand which the DMK has taken, whether it was on the Sanatan Dharma issue and whether it's on the Pongal issue. But what it does for the Congress party, I would say, Akanksha, is even more damaging. Congress is in an alliance with the DMK, and I remember during the Madhya Pradesh election, the Sanatan Dharma comment had come in from Udaynidhi Stalin, and at that point of time, Kamal Nath, who was the face of the Congress in MP, had suggested that let's not have an India bloc meeting or a rally in Bhopal, because with Udaynidhi Stalin or even MK Stalin on the same stage as us, after his Sanatan Dharma comment, it is going to boomerang on the Congress party. The Congress has always faced black for the BJP for being an anti-Hindu party. And this comment coming in from one of their alliance, and also the wrong-standing silence of the Congress party on this, its obvious discomfort also, where the national political playout is going to make it very, very difficult for the Congress party's game for the power play as far as moving out of Tamil Nadu is concerned. I mean, many of the Congress leaders who belong to North India, for that matter, who are from UP, who are from Madhya Pradesh, would not be very comfortable with this statement coming in from one of their own allies.
All right, stay with me, Pallavi. Let me also bring in Purnima on the DMK bit. Purnima, taking that forward, to reduce, say, Pongal to just being a Dravidian festival or to not acknowledge its Hindu roots, how is this now going to play out for MK Stalin and, of course, the DMK?
Well, politics over Pongal festival continues to escalate. We've seen words being exchanged between the DMK as well as the BJP. While Stalin's message to DMK cadre is this, that Pongal is beyond caste, creed and religion, and it is to unite people and not divide the people in the name of religion. The BJP has now hit back. Annamalai also now saying that Annamalai in hitting out, saying that it's the DMK that's trying to make such a statement, and we are all united, and the BJP is not the one that's dividing the country. So Annamalai also now goes on to talk about how he makes his allegation that the DMK is corrupt and that the people of Tamil Nadu will teach the DMK a befitting lesson in the 2026 state assembly polls. But politics over Pongal festival escalates in the state ahead of the 2026 state assembly polls.
Right, and it's not just Pongal, because remember the Parasakti team was also very much part of the celebrations here in the national capital, on which I'd like to quickly bring in Pallavi. Pallavi, we are seeing a host of southern movies, in fact Yash, Parasakti, and of course Vijay's film also now come at that intersection of politics meeting culture, and that now brewing up fresh controversy just ahead of the Tamil Nadu elections.
Well, I mean, cinema and southern politics have always had a very, very close relationship. So one is not too surprised that as we look for the battle for Tamil Nadu, it's again the movies which have now become a point of tug of war between the political parties. And I would find very interesting the reactions coming in from the Congress party. I mean, on the day when Rahul Gandhi was in Tamil Nadu yesterday, one of the first posts he put out, and not only that, he pinned the post where he came out in full support of Jana Nayagan and also of actor Vijay, and saying that this shows the arbitrary nature of the INB ministry of the central government, where they are not allowing his movie to be released. In stark contrast is, of course, the Parasakti team being there and Murugan's residence where the Pongal ceremony was taking place, in which the Prime Minister is present there. And the insinuation coming in from Manickam Tagore and the Congress party is that Parasakti has got the go-ahead only because, they were hobnobbing with the Prime Minister, they're hobnobbing with the BJP, and the movie is also believed to be anti-Congress. So the movie has now become a kind of a tug of war. It can become the benchmark for trying to change the political combinations or coalitions in the state as well.
All right, let me quickly go across to Purnima also when it comes to, say, the political undertones of Pongal this year, particularly when Prime Minister Modi himself is saying that it's not just a festival for the Tamil community, it's in fact a global festival. How is that now going to work out, say, for the politics in Tamil Nadu when he's in fact disassociated Pongal with, say, just the Tamil community? He's saying that it's a festival that's not just celebrated in the country, but across the globe. Purnima.
Well, the BJP is also keeping in mind the 2026 state assembly polls, and BJP leaders say that that Prime Minister celebrating Pongal is a symbol of Prime Minister's love for Tamil culture, Tamil language, and Tamil pride, and that's evident because Prime Minister says it's not just a festival for Tamil Nadu; it's a festival across the world, and that's something that BJP says shows Prime Minister's love for the Tamil culture, because Pongal is a Tamil festival and it will span for about 3 days. And DMK now hits out at this, says that BJP is only playing the Tamil card in the run-up to the 2026 state assembly polls, and this will not help the party make inroads in the state assembly polls. Is something that the DMK says. Playing the Tamil card ahead of the elections may not help the BJP and its alliance partner, the AIADMK, is the word coming in from the DMK.
Absolutely. In fact, Prime Minister also lauded the Tamil culture, spoke about the long legacy and the civilizational history behind it. But we'll have to see how that actually plays up during the election time. But many thanks to you, Purnima and Pallavi, for bringing in all those insights on that news story. Shifting focus over to a much awaited and a very interesting phone call that's taken place just last night, and that was India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who went on a call holding wide-ranging talks All that it covered was trade, defense, even nuclear cooperation. The discussions underscored the growing strategic partnership between New Delhi and Washington, with both sides emphasizing stronger economic and security ties. Notably, the development comes a day after Washington's new ambassador to New Delhi, Ambassador Sergio Gore, took over. He even said that India and the United States would take up outstanding trade issues during a scheduled call. And that is exactly what happened yesterday. Also, in a separate move, the US President Donald Trump has defended his own tariff policies, claiming they're bringing in billions of dollars to the American treasury without hurting any of the consumers. Listen in to what the US President had to say.
Every prediction the critics made about our tariff policy has failed to materialize. The evidence shows overwhelmingly that the tariffs are not paid by American consumers, that they're paid by foreign nations and middlemen. And Scott went over that with us before, and they're paid by middlemen. They raise the thing. Countries get involved. They pay them because otherwise they won't have companies. They won't be viable. And we're the big beneficiary. Once again, the so-called experts were 100% wrong and Trump was right.
All right, let's quickly go across to Siddhant Mishra, who will put that into perspective for us. Siddhant, to begin with that much talked about call between Dr. Jaishankar and Marco Rubio, as we see that there's a renewed focus, say, on trade, energy and nuclear cooperation. Is there a paradigm shift between, say, as far as the partnership between New Delhi and Washington is concerned, where sort of the strategic partnership is now being linked with economic partnership, and you see the way India is also going to be becoming part of Pax Silica? All of this, what is it now indicative of?
Well, that's right, Akanksha. In fact, the two key elements, perhaps, which took me by surprise. One is Secretary of State Marco Rubio congratulating EMS Jaishankar for the Shanti Act, perhaps hinting at deepening cooperation in the field of nuclear energy between the two countries. In fact, last year, Akanksha, in the month of January, Secretary then NSA Sullivan visited India, and in fact, he made the last announcement of Biden administration for India, which was to remove some of the Indian companies from the entity list of United States, perhaps paving way for deeper cooperation between the two countries. Now, since India has also decided to open its nuclear sector for the private players, scrapping the old acts of 1962 and 2010, perhaps this move has been welcomed by the US government, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio congratulated EMS Jaishankar for that. At the same time, the addition of new element is critical minerals. Now, critical minerals used to exist in the relationship when President was Joseph Biden. In fact, India was also the part of the initiative of the previous administration. Now, when it comes to this administration, Akanksha, in fact, we both have reported that how India was not invited to join Pax Silica initially, etc., etc. But the other day, Ambassador announced that India will be getting an invite to join Pax Silica, to become the 9th member of Pax Silica. And simultaneously, Ashwini Vaishnaw was in the United States to attend a ministerial meeting of G7 ministers in DC on the issue of critical minerals, securing supply chains of critical minerals. So as per my assessment, these two elements are going to drive India-US relationship in months to come.
All right, Siddhant, going to request you to continue staying with us. We have more inputs coming in from across the international shores, because remember, tensions are soaring high in Iran. This as reports emerge of nearly 2,000 deaths in a brutal crackdown on anti-government protests. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has urged demonstrators to keep going on. In fact, he's also assured them that help is on its way, escalating already high tensions with Tehran. Iran's defense minister has already warned of a powerful response to any US aggression. Top Iranian official Ali Larijani has blamed Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu for the bloodshed. Remember, the Iranian regime has refused to back down. In fact, they have threatened the US president that there will be a befitting response if US does intervene. Meanwhile, 26-year-old Irfan Sultani is facing execution for protesting against its supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, marking the first such sentence in the uprising. And amid a 130-hour internet blackout, Elon Musk's SpaceX has stepped in. It's offering free Starlink satellite access to Iranians seeking to stay connected. Remember, this happens shortly after the US president assured that he will look into the internet blackout and will also reach out to Elon Musk. Listen to the reactions.
همانطور که در پیام قبلیم به شما گفتم، صدای شما و شجاعت شما رو جهانیان نه تنها دیدن و شنیدن، بلکه دارن اکنون اقدام میکنن. قاعدتاً تا به حال بایستی پیام رئیس جمهور امریکا رو در ضمن شنیده باشید. کمک در راه هست. مبارزه رو همطور که تا به حال انجام دادید ادامه میدید. نگذارید که این نظام شرایط رو عادی جلوه بکنن. بعد از این همه کشتار اخیر یک دریا خون بین ما و این رژیم هست. یادداشت کنید اسامی این جنایتکاران رو. یه روزی به سزای اعمالشون خواهند رسید. و اما پیام ویژه‌ای دارم به پرسنل ارتش. شما ارتش ملی ایران هستید، نه ارتش جمهوری اسلامی. وظیفه دارید از جان همیهنانتون حفاظت بکنید. فرصت زیادی براتون نمونده. به مردم هرچه زودتر بپیوندید.
All right, let's quickly go across to Siddhant, who continues to stay with us. So Siddhant, the moot question for us as Indians is, will there be a US intervention as has been threatened? What are the options before the United States, and why should India be concerned?
Well, that's right, Akanksha. So from last 48 hours, we are getting mixed signals from the United States. In fact, day before yesterday, US senior officials, press secretary, President Trump himself said that they believe in diplomacy first. Iranians have reached out to them, etc., etc. In fact, there were multiple reports saying that Iran is ready to discuss its nuclear program again with the United States. Now, yesterday again, there were chatter about possible military attack by the United States, cyber attack, things like that. In fact, press secretary said that all options are on the table. In fact, there was one high-level meeting also which took place in the White House where President Trump was briefed about the situation in Iran. Then series of posts made by President Trump saying that the help is coming your way, keep protesting. Take over the institutions, make Iran great again with that message. So right now, perhaps the whole world is watching the next move of the United States very, very closely, Akanksha, because as I said, that there has been mixed signaling being done by the United States. So one cannot predict what's going to be the next move, whether there's going to be a possible military intervention or a cyber attack, or United States and Iran will be coming to the tables for talks. Because interestingly, Steve Witkoff had a conversation with the Iranian Steve Witkoff, in fact, who was last time involved in handling this situation in Iran, in fact, met Reza Pahlavi as per the report. So a lot of developments are taking place, right. But very difficult to predict what will be the next move of United States.
Absolutely, and what is going to be the impact of that move is perhaps also something that the US needs to be extremely mindful of. Many thanks to you, Siddhant, for putting that into perspective for us. Now, amid these escalating protests, Dr. Mohammad Momin Khan, who is the Vice President of the All India Medical Students Association of Jammu and Kashmir, spoke exclusively to CNN News 18. This with regards to the safety concerns for India's medical students in Iran. He had that conversation with Siddhant. Listening.
So viewers, joining me now is Mr. Dr. Mohammad Momin Khan. He is in touch with the Indian medical students stuck in Iran. He's in regular touch with them. We'll be talking to him about their safety and whether there is any plan of bringing them back home. क्या कुछ आप बता सकते हैं उन बच्चों के बारे में जो कि मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स हैं, जो कि ईरान में पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं? कितनी संख्या है उनकी? और क्योंकि वहां पे 130 घंटे से ज्यादा का इंटरनेट ब्लैकआउट है, तो ऐसे में बातचीत होने में भी कुछ दिक्कतें आ रही होंगी. क्या वो सेफ हैं, किन इलाकों में है? क्या कुछ बता सकते हैं आप हमें?
जी देखिए क्या है, जो हमारे इंडिया से अराउंड स्टूडेंट्स वो नियर अबाउट 3000 है. उसमें से जो इंडियन मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स हैं इट्स अराउंड लाइक 2000 के टचिंग में है. और मेजॉरिटी ऑफ देम जो होते हैं वो बिलोंग करते हैं जम्मू एंड कश्मीर से. मोर देन लाइक 1600 स्टूडेंट्स.
ये कौन से इलाकों में हैं और क्या कुछ बता रहे हैं? क्या तस्वीर है इस वक्त ईरान की? क्योंकि 2 दिन से तो बताया जा रहा है सिचुएशन कुछ कंट्रोल में आई है, पर उससे पहले जिस प्रकार से आगजनी का मंजर देखा गया, जिस प्रकार से गवर्नमेंट बिल्डिंग्स को अटैक किया गया, बताया जा रहा है ईरानियन फोर्सेस ने भी बहुत लोगों को, प्रोटेस्टर्स को पे गोली चलाई है. क्या कुछ जानकारी वो दे रहे हैं आपको?
देखिए जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं मेनली जो तेहरान में मतलब स्टडी करने जाते हैं, तो आप जानती है थर्सडे नाइट के बाद वहाँ इंटरनेट शट डाउन हुआ था कम्प्लीटली. और इवन दो कम्युनिकेशन जो मोबाइल नेटवर्क है, इंटरनेशनल कॉल्स, दे वर आल्सो सस्पेंडेड. तो स्टूडेंट जो है यहाँ, मैंने उनके पेरेंट्स के एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप बनाए थे क्योंकि लास्ट टाइम भी इवैक्यूएशन के वक्त हमारी एसोसिएशन ने बहुत हेल्प की थी इनकी. तो जो इंटरनेट शटडाउन की वजह से बहुत पैनिक और एंजाइटी क्रिएट हुई है अमंग द पेरेंट्स. तो कुछ स्टूडेंट जो है मतलब वो इराकी बॉर्डर के पास फ्राइडे को चले गए थे और उन्होंने वहां से मुझसे कम्युनिकेट किया था. तो मैंने वो जो उनने अश्योरिटी जो मतलब बोला था, वो अभी तक मतलब जो स्टूडेंट्स हमारे इंडियन मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स वो कम्प्लीटली अभी सेफ है वहाँ पे. कुछ स्टूडेंट्स टर्की बॉर्डर पे भी चले गए थे उर्मिया यूनिवर्सिटी के, तो उन्होंने वहां से भी हमें मैसेज दी कि मतलब दे ऑल आर सेफ, देयर इज नथिंग टू वरी. और वो मैसेज हमने उनके पेरेंट्स को कन्वे की थी.
तो इस मामले में, इस पूरे मसले को लेकर आप एम्बेसी से टच में हैं? आप लोग वहां से गाइडेंस मिल रहा है? कुछ भारत सरकार से टच में हैं?
जी जी, भारत सरकार और एम्बेसी का पूरा साथ है इस चीज़ में. और जो हमारी वहाँ इंडियन हाई कमीशन इन ईरान है तेहरान में, उन्होंने भी एडवाइस दी अपने स्टूडेंट्स को, जो मतलब डिफरेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में उनने मतलब हर यूनिवर्सिटी में एडवाइस दी जो है वो जारी की है, जिन्होंने उन्हें स्टूडेंट्स से ये अपील की है कि वो इंडोर में ही रहे.
अमेरिका की तरफ से क्योंकि लगातार धमकियां आ रही हैं कि वो इंटरवीन करेंगे, मिलिट्री अटैक कर सकते हैं या साइबर अटैक कर सकते हैं, इस तरह की तमाम बातें आ रही हैं, तो वहाँ क्या चर्चा है? ईरान में क्या चर्चा हो रही है इसको लेकर?
देखिए स्टूडेंट्स एज ऑफ नाउ वो बोल रहे हैं वहाँ पे जो मतलब स्टेबल है कंडीशन, लेकिन अगर ये चीज़ें होती है कहीं से मतलब अटैक होते हैं, तो हमारी इमीडिएट डिमांड रहेगी जो हमारे इंडियन सिटीजन्स हैं उन सबको इवैक्यूएट किया जाए टू बैक टू द इंडिया.
More than 2 weeks into Iran's nationwide protests, and demonstrators remain defiant. This despite a harsh crackdown. In fact, an ongoing internet blackout has already made it difficult to grasp the full scale of the unrest. What began as outrage over inflation and rising living costs has now exploded into a wider anti-government movement in Iran. CNN's Jana Nayagan she brings us a report. Let's have a quick look.
From behind the walls of the Iranian regime's censorship, a chilling video has emerged. Every movement of what may be a hidden camera reveals a terrifying picture of what's been unfolding on the ground. They butchered him, this mourner wails. The camera drifts past grief, not lingering long enough for us to be able to tell the stories of loss and pain of so many who gathered at the Kahrizak Forensic Medical Center outside Tehran, searching among rows and rows of body bags that line the courtyard for loved ones missing. State media had its own pictures and narrative from the Kahrizak Forensic Institute, reporting the majority of the bodies are those of, quote, ordinary citizens. They blame their deaths, like the protest, on foreign-backed terrorists carrying out what they say are indiscriminate killings. These pictures the regime decided to air, perhaps a warning to those who dare take to the streets. It's almost impossible for us to get real-time updates from Iran. The regime's shut down communications across the country on Thursday, just as nationwide protests against the clerical establishment drew larger crowds to the streets of every province. It's a tactic out of its playbook on crushing dissent, cover it's used in the past to unleash bloody force. In this one location, an estimated 250 bodies, with hundreds more confirmed killed elsewhere, according to activists. The world now braces for what may come when Iran finally emerges from the dark.
All right, with that, we're stepping into a quick break. Stay tuned to CNN News 18 as we return with the latest news and updates.
The Mumbai local is synonymous with the maximum city. It is its very lifeline.
After 8 long years, the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation elections are finally set to take place.
One alliance versus fractured opposition. Who will Mumbai choose? Ballot Maximum City. Complete coverage on CNN News 18. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
We are now cutting across to this piece of breaking news where we are learning that at least 12 people have been killed after a construction crane fell into a moving train in northeastern Thailand. This is an unfortunate update that we are having to bring for our viewers because of the number of casualties that this accident has reported. At least 12 people who are believed to have been killed, and this after a crane has fallen onto a moving train. All of this has happened in northeastern Thailand. We are now looking at more updates. We are also in fact given to understand that the number can go up to even 22 and many others who have been injured. This is what we are picking up, and these are the visuals that we managed to in fact source for our viewers as a construction crane collapses onto a moving train, and that has ended up killing many people, at least 12. The number could go up to more than 20 is what we are picking up, and these are very, very distressing visuals that we have for our viewers on the screens. My colleague Akanksha Swaroop with all of those details. Akanksha, anything else that you're picking up? Very, very distressing piece of information that we are having to put out for our viewers.
Right, Griha, in fact, the death toll is rising. Earlier it was being reported that 12 people have been killed, but in the latest information that we have received, 22 people are reportedly dead, 30 injured, and perhaps the death toll could in fact go up further. And if you actually go by the visuals that are coming in, you can see how the crane actually collapsed on that moving train, which led to this tragedy. Could it have been averted? Only an investigation will be able to indicate. But why was the train passing through this semi-constructed area? It was a construction crane that fell onto this moving train in northeastern Thailand. We await more details to emerge in terms of what really led to that collapse of that crane onto the train. But in fact, if you were to go by the visuals that we have received so far, you can see that the train has been left into ramshackles, and actually it's completely collapsed. So what's right now of prime concern is that will the death toll remain at 22, or is it going to further go up? There's, of course, rescue operations that are currently on, because remember, 30 people are already injured. They're being rushed to the nearby hospitals is what we are being told. And perhaps in some time from now, we'll be able to ascertain better the exact number of people who have died. But it's extremely deeply tragic and disturbing. 22 people already dead. And you can see the way the train has completely left in it's been left in a charred condition. It's completely collapsed. It's in fact, as you can see, the visuals that are coming in, the smoke billowing out of a collapsed train, and this crane that actually collapsed on top of it. But what's extremely shocking is how was the train allowed to pass through a semi-constructed site, and what exactly led to the collapse of that crane. We await more details to emerge, but these are breaking inputs that we are receiving in this horrific train tragedy that has taken place in northeastern Thailand, Briha.
Right, Akanksha, I was also reading through a couple of reports that are emerging, and this is as per the local police. They were saying that the crane was moving on a high-speed rail project when this collapse and crash onto that passing train really happened. Any details that could be picked up from the local authorities there in Thailand, or is it too early to assess the situation at the moment?
So what you're saying is actually right, and yes, this is what the reports are indicating, that this crane was actually moving at a very high speed. And what we can tell our viewers right now is that this accident has taken place in the wee hours of Wednesday morning in the Sikioi district of Nakhon Ratchasima province, and the train was bound for Thailand's Ubon Ratchathani province, and local media reports are indicating that this crane was actually on a high-speed rail project when it collapsed, and that's when it hit the passing train. Why was the train taking a route through a semi-construction site? All of that detail is currently awaited. But what we are also learning from the reports that are emerging so far is that it was the high speed of the crane that caused the train to derail and even catch fire. So also videos that are emerging currently on social media are also indicating how the rescue work is also underway. The first responders are actually over there. But remember, like most train tragedy, what actually makes it most challenging for the first responders is how they have to cut through the train and the metal to actually rescue those who are trapped inside the wreckage of that destroyed train. So, and that's exactly what first responders are currently doing at this site as well, where they have to cut through the train wreckage to rescue those injured people. Close to 33 or 30, in fact, injured have been rescued so far. The fire has been extinguished and the rescue work is still underway, is what we're being told we have.
Right, Akanksha, do stay on with us. Very, very distressing piece of information that we are having to put out for our viewers. We are just putting out those visuals as well on the big screen on the wall here. And there you can see the under construction bridge. This is where the construction was taking place. This seems to be of a high-speed rail project.
Hello and welcome to Simply South. I'm Harish Upadhyay. Time to look at all the major stories emerging from South India, and we begin with Kerala. Close on the heels of the gold theft scam